I've been saying it for 6 months. It's a friggin' disaster.
Oh, and I must concur with my dear friend TK's Garage. So I want to reiterate what TK was saying in this video to give some context, because there's some extra stuff I want to add into what TK was saying. Basically, also stuff that I know from some engineers and some journalists who told me about this car when they was actually reviewing it themselves. And what if I told you guys that I was supposed to be one of the guys that actually review it, but I guess my invitation got lost in the mail. It's that time of year again where you need to save as much money as you can to buy the gifts for everyone else and including yourself. So my friends at Just Bolt-Ons and Drag Racing Wheels have you covered. In case you need anything like exhaust systems, sticky Mickeys, catch cans, tonneau covers, whatever, my friends at Just Bolt-Ons and Drag Racing Wheels have some of the best prices online. And with my promo code BUTTER that you use at checkout, you can save up to an additional 15% off on your next order. So check out my friends at Just Bolt-Ons, DragRacingWheels.com, where some of the best prices online just got a little bit better. Well, almost 38,000 friends, and there's 65% of you guys not yet subscribed. Now, I was supposed to have been invited by Dodge to go actually test review the Charger Daytona, and this was something that I had discussed with them a few months ago, but I guess that my invite got lost in the mail. Wink, wink. Because the last time I did a wink, wink Dodge, you guys actually got me a Hornet to review. And ever since I did a review of the Hornet, I have not said anything bad about it other than I think it's just way too expensive. Hopefully Dodge sometime next year will let me go and actually review one, because especially if I can have one actually around me around here, so I can review it against my Dodge Demon 170, which I think would be a pretty good comparison between the future of Dodge and the past of Dodge, two basically Halo products, well, basically until the Banshee, which I was told by a few journalists has been delayed for several months. TK's Garage is 100% right. The review from Throttle House on the Charger Daytona is a very accurate review from what I know from what engineers have told me in the background about the Charger Daytona, especially what TK has been saying about the Charger Daytona, where there has been a lot of issues with that car, especially a lot of software issues. I'm going to give Dodge a break on this particular part because to me, honestly, this car is rushed. Now, this car is rushed to the point to where, from what I've heard from a few different people, they were supposed to keep the Hemi cars around for one more additional year while they get this car out sometime next year. But apparently Carlos Tavares was not having that crap, and he made sure to have this car pushed ahead of schedule. And now you're seeing the ramifications of why this car is not ready for prime time. But I was talking to a journalist buddy of mine, actually, I want to say a few days ago, before the embargo lifted on all these videos. That's why all these videos came out in the last couple of days. But I was talking to a journalist buddy of mine, and he was telling me that these cars are having software issues, right? It doesn't really build a lot of confidence, or not really build a lot of confidence, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense for all the engineers that was working on this car, for all of them to be fired. And then you have foreign engineers like India and all these other countries, them try to come in and try to fix this car, and you're on a deadline. Because I was talking to my journalist buddy, and he was telling me that these Charger Daytonas, they have to be out of Windsor by December 23rd. And if these cars are pushed out of Windsor by December 23rd and they can't fix the software glitches that they're having with this car, then those first initial buyers are going to be stuck with cars that's going to have software bugs, that's going to have over-the-air updates. It's kind of like when, I want to say, the 2022 TRX came out, and the Grand Wagoneer came out in the same year. The TRX was at Shap, and they was piling up, and then the Grand Wagoneer, it was piling up at Warren Truck, and there was Uconnect 5 issues. And then over that whole year, that was the first year of Uconnect 5. And so they was having multiple over-the-air updates to fix the bugs with their radio. And there's some people still to this day that still have buggy Uconnect software in their 2022 TRXs. And so that's going to be kind of like the same thing with the Charger Daytona. where that car has software bugs that they're going to try to fix, and they can't get this stuff fixed by what this is 12/13 that I'm making this video. So you basically got another 10 days. Dodge has 10 days to get the software in the Charger Daytona fixed, or this car is going to launch with these software bugs. And Throttle House raised a very, interesting thing that I talked to my journalist buddy about, right? And he said the same thing about the Daytona that he reviewed as well. Now, I'm not going to say which journalist buddy it is, but I have a few people that I talked to, but it's somebody that you guys might know pretty well, especially all the articles he'd be writing. But he would tell me the same thing with his Charger Daytona. When you have these stage kits installed, the power shop button does not work anymore. Now, the power shop button, if you're not familiar with it, is actually a button that you'll find also on the Dodge Hornet.
So we also used the e-motor to have some fun, and we added a segment exclusive Power Shot push to pass system. Power Shot is an on-demand system that maxes out battery discharge and gives you an additional 25 horsepower and knocks a full second off the RT 0 to 60 time. Now, the lawyers will not let me tell you what I call it, but think about it for a second. Call it Power Shot, you push a button and you get power instantly. Pretty cool tech, huh? Now, you're all gonna ask me, so I'm gonna get it out of the way. What about the power? Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you that yet. The Charger Daytona will launch with 3 power levels all the way up to the 800 volt Banshee system. But we're also developing 9 power levels through direct connection. You're gonna have 9 total power levels on this car. And all of those power levels will come standard with our exclusive Power Shot push to pass system.
You push the button, the battery, primes up, and then within a couple of seconds, when you floor the, when you floor the car, floor the gas pedal, then the car is gonna have a boost of acceleration. You can feel that in the Dodge Hornet. When I reviewed it for a few weeks, I actually liked the feature. But the problem is on the Charger Daytona is that when you have stage kits installed, those stage kits use the power from the Power Shot feature and give it to you full time. So if you buy a Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack with the Stage 2 kit on it, you literally have a button that doesn't do anything. That's why when Throttle House was talking about in their video how them put in like drag mode or stuff like that, they push the Power Shot button, it doesn't really work. But in auto mode, and then they do it, they can feel a little bit difference. That's because there are software issues in their car. And then I want to say I saw the video by Straight Pipes where they were talking about the Froxonic exhaust system, where that particular system, where if you pop the car into neutral, being an EV, if you're rolling along and you're like stepping on the gas pedal and stuff, the car does not play the music from the chambered exhaust system. But if you come to a stop and you're in neutral, then the system works. And then they showed a little note that they took this, that the Dodge engineers took this, and it's something they're going to work on. But these reviewers, especially like Throttle House and Straight Pipes, they seen the bugs with this car and they actually put it in the videos. So this is kind of like a good example of how you'll have some reviewers who will overlook all the issues with the car and basically only give you basically a positive spin on it, but not a real spin on it, right? So, I mean, Throttle House, they wasn't trying to be disrespectful or Straight Pipes being disrespectful. They were just basically telling you that there is stuff with this car and this car is not polished yet. It's not ready for prime time. But you have some other people who are influencers who will influence you to go and jump into this car that has issues with it, and then you go jump into it and you're gonna think like, oh well, it's just my car that does this. No one else's car does this. But I know multiple journalists who have driven this car and they have bugs to them. But I mean, it's to expected. It's to be expected, right? The lady who was in charge of software, she basically resigned and quit immediately, right? And went to go work at Goodyear.
We will give our customers the ability to upgrade their vehicles in real time. Here are a few examples. Dodge is developing performance upgrades, launching actually next week, including driver-tunable software that will deliver an immediate horsepower boost while retaining the car's emissions compliance. For our Ram pickup owners, customers can increase the capability of their truck to handle greater loads.
Then you have all the turmoil of all the rollover where all the engineers, all of them are fired, and they got a bunch of foreign engineers coming in trying to fix stuff. So you got a lot of turnover within the last 2 years, and there's no question why this car has software issues. Now, those software issues, they could or could not be fixed. Hopefully, with cause of errors gone and Stellantis tries to kind of reverse course on this nonsense to try to hire back some of the engineers that they fired and actually have American engineers who are close to the product who can actually fix this stuff. Hopefully the Charger Daytona software-wise will be better sometime next year. But given that there's only really like 10 days from the time of this video until they have to push them out of Windsor because of a law that my journalist buddy was telling me about, it's like the same thing last year when they tried to push out the Demon 170. They had to basically push out incomplete Demon 170s outside of Brampton plant and have them sitting there in the snow until Penske had enough time to actually paint the stripes on the cars. Then you had what was that Leak Industries. They had to make the carbon fiber wheels after the fact. And then from what I'm hearing from some people, they had to go in and fix some of the Demon 170 engines, pushing them back into the plant after the 23rd of December. So here we go again, a year later, we had a Charger Daytona basically against the same deadline. And I think the deadline is because they have to get these cars out by the 23rd in order for them to be able to use the emissions credits from those cars for this model year. Or if they don't get out by the 23rd, they got to use them for the next model year. And I'm pretty sure they need them for this year since they've had Demons, Durangos, TRXs, qualify for this model year, so they don't get fined or whatever. But I'm just going to, leave that because I've been talking about this for, I'm looking at this timer, about a good 10 minutes now about the software issues. But there's some other things that I've noticed about this Charger Daytona, especially watching all the reviews. And I'm going like, the Charger Daytona for the first year is an $80,000 EV. An $80,000 EV that does not self-drive, does not let you take your hands off the steering wheel on the highway and self-drive. Like, it's kind of crazy to me why Stellantis did not put this in a Charger Daytona, given that you can buy a Ram 1500 that can self-drive on the highway. So you can do this in a Ram 1500 truck that's probably going to be $10, $15, $20,000 cheaper, but an $80,000 Charger Daytona EV can't self-drive on the highway, right? So it's like to the point where, I mean, a car that costs that much money, I don't understand why they don't self-drive. Like literally every car over $80,000 should self-drive by now. The cost of these cars is just crazy, but I would think that literally every single EV, if you want to make an EV more, attractive for somebody to buy, they should all self-drive, right? Pretty much every single Tesla, when you pay like $8 grand, all of them will self-drive from your door to wherever you want to go to, and they'll basically, route you in some superchargers based on your electric charge and where you want to go, right? You can go buy F-150s now, they got Blue Cruise. You can go buy, when I go buy the Escalade next year, every single Escalade has Super Cruise on it. So no matter if you're gonna get a base level Escalade all to Escalade V, they'll all drive you on the highway. And that's one thing that I want in a new vehicle going forward. I want the ability to just sit back, chill, relax, and let the car drive for me. But the Charger Daytona can't. And I just question why that is not available in this car. Maybe when they update the car in 2026 for solid state batteries, maybe to do that, but it just questionable to me why they don't have self-driving in this car. The weight is crazy. Like the Charger Daytona is almost 6,000 pounds. And even if they get rid of the battery packs next year and put a six banger in the car is still gonna weigh literally the same weight or more than an outgoing Challenger and Charger. So the car is gonna weigh more with an inline 6 engine, and just because it's all-wheel drive, it's gonna be technically faster, but I don't know whether or not it will actually beat a Demon 170. Which, I mean, I know it's not exactly a fair comparison, but I mean, I would love to see a comparison with those 6 bangers against Hellcat and Red Eye, because these cars were supposed to be better than the outgoing cars, but they're not lighter. I personally don't think it's a good looking car. Now, I haven't seen one in person. Now, I haven't seen a Charger Daytona in person. I was supposed to go to Roadkill Nights, but I had some family issues going on. So I was supposed to go there and meet Matt, the CEO of Dodge and stuff, and go and talk to them more about me reviewing a Charger Daytona. But, you know, family stuff got in the way. But I just want to say that this car, I'm going to kind of reserve judgment on it until I actually get my hands on one. Like, I mean, as much as the crap I've seen the horsepower locator about, each dealer gonna get maybe one or two of them, if they even get one. It's gonna be kind of hard to, you know, get one to review. So that's what I'm hoping, if Dodge, wink will allow me to have a Scat Pack Charger Daytona for me to review. And just like with a Hornet, I'll make sure I give it a very fair review. And then I just went and bought me a camera and stuff so I can go outdoors, because you know, I'm tired of sitting here in this dungeon. I done went to 3 or 4 versions of different backgrounds that I've been shooting in. So now I'm ready to go outside and go do things in prime time outside the house. So I'm going to start doing some OC motivator stuff, going around to dealerships and maybe doing some exposing of them on site, and go and travel around and go meet up with TK and the crew. And hopefully we'll get this podcast started, and hopefully we'll get some fun things started, because I got some very big plans for 2025, and hopefully reviewing a 2024 or 2025, whatever model year they're gonna call this car. Hopefully reviewing one of those cars against my Demon 170. Well, hell, maybe even against my Z06. See how it will compare against a Z06. Z06 only has 600 and Z06 got 670 horsepower. The Charger Daytona got 670 horsepower. So that'll be a pretty much a very fair comparison. Can the Charger Daytona outshine my C8 Z06? But I've been talking about this car long enough, but I wanted to kind of reiterate that, you know, go watch TK's video about the Charger Daytona, because, you know, he brings up a lot of great points about the car. And then if you go look at the comments on pretty much every single reviewer's video, a lot of people are literally clowning this car. Like the last, like I'll probably go scroll some, or I probably already have scrolled some comments in this video, but go look at the videos for yourself. Go look at the Throttle House video, because that's like, I think, the #1 video out there about the Charger Daytona. And they basically tell you just flat out, don't buy the car. And hopefully the 6-pack will be a better buy. But that's it for this video. And hopefully Dodge, wink, you guys will let me review one. Please let it be a Charger Daytona Scat Pack. You guys already told me I was on the list to review one, since I did give a fair one for the Hornet, and I haven't said anything bad about the Hornet ever since, even though that's one of the most recalled vehicles in America, and I actually liked it. But let me know what you guys think, and put down in the comment section, what do you guys think about the Charger Daytona? Is it ready for prime time? Should Dodge have pushed out the 6 bangers first? And will this car even sell? But until the next time, I'm out.